Brothers bit on the side. Another explosive show with nominations straight into the house. I love it when they do that. And our celebs certainly, they were not holding back, were they? Here's a little recap.
Sam.
Huh?
What?
That's not right.
Sam. If she vanished for 2 days, you wouldn't know she's gone.
Even though I've been really nice to her, she hasn't really made an effort to talk to me.
That is what you'd call a tactical nomination.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you call a tactical nomination.
Liz.
Liz. Possible to make her smile. I'm thinking, why did you go into the Big Brother house? She said some pretty awful things about people's appearance.
Jim.
Thank you.
Why?
Jim. I find him sexist, chauvinistic.
I'm out.
Sam,
Liz and Jim will face the public vote.
Guy's only 3. Well, let's hope Sam doesn't go because of tactical nominations.
Of course, she won't go in a million years. That's why I
Well, we didn't think Lionel would go in a million years.
Oh, no, there's a slight difference. Oh, Liz.
Last night. Shall we see what's been happening this morning? Yeah! Here we go.
Do you believe that they were really tactical reasons?
Yeah, for sure. Because obviously, Liz said that I didn't make the effort with her when she knows full well that I'm probably the person that's made the most effort with her. You know, willingly I do her makeup on every eviction night. I lent her clothes, I do her hair. So she could have just said anyone that did make an effort with her. But she's chose me because she said, well, if you want to go home that much, obviously you're going to vote for the favourite. Not that I am the favourite, so I don't even know which one anyway, but obviously she assumes that I would be one of the favourites, so if I'm up and she's up, she thinks that she automatically will just go home and I'll stay, but it's not the point, is it? Because I could be going home Wednesday just because of their lying reasons.
Is there anything wrong with tactical voting? No. It's allowed, right? It's allowed. Right, before we get stuck into last night's nominations, should we meet our panel? Yeah! Let's meet the panel. First up, she played Kelly Windsor in Emmerdale. She had an affair with a teacher, she slept with a stepbrother, and she took advantage of a man with amnesia. So surely anything our housemates do cannot shock her. Let's find out if it does. It's Adele Silva. Our second panellist has roved for Richard and Judy, chatted with One Direction in a toilet, and is the reason why I look forward to the weekend. It's the wonderful Matt Edmondson. And finally, she has been a loose woman. She has spent time in Borehamwood's favourite bungalow, and she, too, is a Nolan, not a nun. It's the youngest Nolan. It's Colleen! Okay, so, to confirm, the housemates up for eviction this Wednesday are Jim, Liz and Sam. You're booing all 3 of them. What's going on? Okay, so Sam is up for the first time. She seemed pretty shocked, I think it's fair to say. Matt, do you think she felt untouchable?
Maybe, because she had a sort of bulletproof defence of lots of people who are not as nice as her in front of her. The problem is it's not about being nice on this show, it's about being watchable and about saying stuff and doing stuff. And she's done nothing. I sort of can't believe I'm agreeing with Jim Davidson when I say that what he said about, if she wasn't in there for a couple of days, well, you wouldn't notice. You wouldn't notice. That could be a task where they removed her and just had a look around if anyone's going, you've seen Sam, I'm sure she's in the other room.
Happens.
Yeah.
But she is very well liked within the house. So as much as she may not do anything from where we're standing, she's obviously quite well liked, I would imagine, by everybody. She only got 2 noms compared to...
But it has backfired, hasn't it? Because I think people go, people love her so much, they won't vote for her. It seems like paying a compliment to her.
I think because in the house, I think she is a really nice girl, and I think she's kept her dignity. But I think we haven't focused on her because the really loud argumentative ones.
What are you talking about, Colleen? I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, it's focused on them, so she probably has done things that we haven't seen. I bet when they come out, they'll go, oh, Sam did this and Sam, but you don't see it.
Adele, do you think she deserves to stay?
As an audience member, no, because she has been kind of quite vanilla and boring. But I think there's a lot of stuff kind of probably that we haven't seen. But I really do like her. But for entertainment value, she's not a Louisa. She's not a Jim that antagonises people. So in that respect, kind of no. But I would like to see Liz go in front of her, definitely.
It's always the tricky one, isn't it? You don't want to lose the nice people that kind of get on in the house because they're nice, but then you do want to keep people that are entertaining because now we still have over a week left to go. Yay! So she seems to get massive cheers on eviction night, which we know is you can never really tell because Lionel got massive cheers and he was kicked out of the house. Do you think Jim thinks that this is a competition?
Yeah, no.
I love how Paul's just like, I'm in there, I'm here, I'm ready to.
Yeah, no, Jim is actually playing a very, very good game. I actually prefer him when he's being funny, but the great game is that he knows he's got the most votes in 3 evictions. He knows that Sam is very popular on the outside. So what he's done, he's guaranteed that Liz goes on Wednesday.
Well, you say you're guaranteed that Liz goes on Wednesday.
No, I think this time she will.
But Liz has survived every eviction as well.
But I think this time she will go. I know she survived 3.
All of them, definitely.
You think?
Outlet all of them,
definitely.
Anybody think Liz will stay?
Me.
Maybe.
Yeah. Sam is so boring.
She's so
not
boring.
good to watch.
She's like white bread.
She has got the Towie vote though. Lots of people watch Towie. Lots of people will like Sam.
Has her cats, so.
Huh?
It has her cats.
I know, but cats can't vote.
My cat does.
Right, Jim, he received 6 nominations. He's been up every time. As we've just said, he survives every single time. Adele, Louisa seems quite confused as to why Jim is surviving.
So am I. The only thing I can think is that the general public are completely getting confused and thinking when they're ringing Jim's voting line, they're thinking they're ringing to evict him and it's actually saving him. Yes! I totally understand he's entertaining.
I read those vote lines a hell of a lot during that show, and if you don't get by now that it's a vote to save, then you're watching the wrong programme.
You know.
So where do you stand on Jim?
I've got personal history with Jim. I did Hell's Kitchen with him. I can't stand Jim. I think he's vile. He's everything-ist, basically. But I can totally appreciate the house would have been so much more quieter if he wasn't in there to kind of stir up arguments. So I appreciate that he's been a great kind of member of the Big Brother house, but I want him out.
Okay, can we just say...
I don't want people to look at him like, you know, younger people and think it's all right to be horrible and get away with it and someone like him win. No, he's been really below the belt on so many different occasions. Out. Jim out, get out.
Can we put Adele in for the next series of Celebrity Big Brother? This should be really good.
With Jim!
Okay, so Jim and Linda clearly don't get on, clearly like to potentially wind each other up. Nobody knows Linda better than her sister Colleen. Thankfully, she is here. Is she doing it on purpose?
Do you know what I think? You know what I think is really annoying her? Because I think Jim should win.
What?
A BAFTA. I don't think he should win a Big Brother. I think he should win a BAFTA because he is acting his socks off. He is holding everything back, and we do know Jim, and Linda knows Jim, and I think she's nipping at him to go, come on, let them see you. Bring it out, because he is going, he's taking the pin out the grenade, dropping it in the room and then going, well, I'm going outside. And then straight away, I'm sorry about that. Well, stop doing it. You keep doing it. I mean, it's not just Linda that's going on about Jim. Even Liz in her nominations tonight was saying about, I speak and it's like I don't exist. Because if you're not a dolly to Jim, you're dead.
How would you react in the same way as Linda in there, you think? Because
she's much braver than me.
Whatever he says, she does seem to grab it, doesn't she?
As her sister, I have sat there as well, because I'm only seeing the edited hour as well, and it's only because I know her. But sometimes I've watched it and gone, whoa, Linda, stop, back off. Sometimes I go, do you want a cup of tea? And she'll be like, well, what do you mean by that? you know, why are you making me a cup of tea? And I think, leave him alone. He's offered you a cup of tea. So I have seen her bite at him, but I understand her reasons why, and I'm sure when she comes out, she will spend hours with you telling you why. But it is hard. When you're in there, it's hard to know what is going on. You know, I had it a bit with Julie. You know, I had this whole fake thing with Julie who was telling me she loved me, and it was just something in me that I'm thinking you don't. But it's kind of hard because you think, if I confront you on this, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe on the outside world everybody loves you. It plays with your mind, and it is hard. But she's really, you know, she's had some. I've been bombarded on Twitter and other social networking sites, and apparently it's all my fault.
And mine too, as well, apparently.
And yours
So I'm with you.
Yeah, we're all to blame.
He was nominated tonight by Lee and Casey. Lee, slightly surprised, but not really surprised. Casey, though, I was really shocked because they just seemed to get on so well. Matt, what do you reckon?
Well, she's the only female in there that seems to kind of have any time for Jim whatsoever. They had that lovely arm-in-arm, beautiful stroll in a circle constantly for a little while earlier. And it is a surprise, but I think his problem is that there are lots of people that hate him and cause arguments because he's there. So it's easier, instead of getting rid of lots of people who hate Jim, just to get rid of Jim and suddenly you've got a happy house.
Yeah, but we don't want a happy house.
No, but they do. They're in there. That's what they want.
Do you know what? I think it's become a much happier house since Jasmine left. And that's no disrespect to Jasmine, but the whole dynamic changed. The whole Lee thing changed, and the whole thing, Casey felt much more comfortable. Louisa just became much nicer to watch without all of that. Anyway, we shouldn't be talking about Jasmine because that's old news. Who do you think will go on Wednesday?
I would like to think Liz, but I think if people don't vote to save Sam, possibly Sam.
Okay, Matt?
I'll be amazed and baffled if it's not Liz. Who's voting for Liz? Are you voting for Liz? Are you voting
for Liz?
Tonight.
How many readers did she say she had?
Well, 69 million.
That's who's voting.
But they're not voting.
Who do you think will go?
Who do I think will go? Well, Liz, I think, but that isn't who I'd like.
Audience? Sam, Liz, why do you think we're for a shocker?
I think Sam will go.
Really?
Yeah, I do. Because people...
We'll find out. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. They're shouting in my ear. Right, coming up, Dr. Pam Spur is going to be with us to talk about the sexual chemistry in the house. But first, on Wednesday, the next celeb will be kicked out to face the cold reality of Bournemouth. Here are the numbers you need to save your faith. This week, Jim, Liz and Sam all face the public vote. Who stays? You decide. From a landline call, 090 20 44 24 and add the number of the housemate you want to save. From a mobile, call 644 24 and add the number of the housemate you want to save. For Jim, add 05. For Liz, add 09. For Sam, add 12. Mobile and BT landline votes cost 50p. Other landlines may vary. Voting closes in Wednesday's eviction show. Votes cast after the lines close won't count. For full terms, go to channel5.com/BB Vote. Welcome back to Celebrity Big Brother's Bit on the Side. Now, people are trying to say that Bots isn't as famous as the main show, but it is. I work on both, and it is, isn't it? I think they're half asleep, this audience tonight, because they're slightly in delay, and it's because it's so late, I think. Now, this series has had more ups and downs than Dappy's appendage. So here to help me unravel all is behavioural expert Dr. Pam Spur. Okay, so let's start with Lee and Casey. They say that they have a love-hate relationship. So why is Casey always so quick to forgive? She's very kind of happy to go back there. I know they're not kind of back there as they were, but she's just quite happy to be with him again, isn't she?
Well, the whole country is screaming at her, Casey, just drop him like a hot brick. Yeah. What he's set up with her is what's called the approach avoidance conflict. And see, she's already rubbing his back sensually. You know, if she just felt friendly, she might just give him a pat. But, you know, we saw that hand action and it's sensual. Now, the approach avoid conflict is where he first gave her positive signals when they were handcuffed, she approached him. He then avoided her by going over to Jasmine, and so she was left feeling bad about herself. He then gave her more approach signals by having that conversation with her. They had the convo about, well, maybe something will happen between us. He then gave her more avoidance signals when he went back again to Jasmine. So that's a psychological state that he's reeled her into, where she's hoping the next signal will be, approach me again. And it has been. Jasmine leaves, just as I said, and what happens? He's all cozying up to her again.
So why is she still under his spell?
Well, you know, if you look at the trait of optimism, you get the optimists and you get the pessimists in life. She would be very high on optimism, and that means she really hopes that there will be a positive end result for this. And let's face it, Lee is moment-focused, and he's in the moment, and he gives her what she wants in the moment. Now that Jasmine isn't there, he is giving her that friendly touch, the wrestling. They're like two baby gorillas together, the way she jumped on him, you know, last night's show, and then, you know, he responded very favorably. So that's why she's kind of still under his spell with that high level of optimism.
So she's constantly hoping that there's going to be a happy ending.
Absolutely. It won't be.
Okay, another couple that have a fiery but very interesting relationship is Dappy and Louisa. What is going on with what seems like never-ending foreplay?
Well, you and I could be rich if we went in there and we bottled the sex hormones between them and sold it as an aphrodisiac. Because what we're seeing is kind of pseudo-sex play, which is very face-saving. They're not actually showing that we really want to be with each other, but they're constantly doing that sort of pseudo-sex play that says, well, if you take it further, I'll go with you. So they're laying the groundwork potentially for it to go further without sort of putting themselves out there emotionally and kind of saying, oh, I really like you. And of course, we just saw Louisa say, well, I like him a bit, but she's not prepared to go the full way. So I think
does she really like him though? Or is she at the point where she's going, we heard her say at the beginning, if she got it on with Jasmine, they would probably end up winning the show. Is she now thinking, if I do something with Dappy, maybe I can get to the end?
It's all about getting the camera action, and if the sex action gets it, we know Louisa is absolutely driven to win. She is so in it to win it. And that's fine. It's a game. Why shouldn't she be? But she will do anything to kind of make sure that that camera is focused on her. She's getting the action. She's a generator. She generates the storylines, and she will stay in there as long as she's doing that.
Then maybe she doesn't need to do that then, if she is the generator.
I think you're absolutely right, Emma. I don't think they will go all the way. She doesn't need to, but she will keep up the pseudo-sex play to make us think, oh, we better keep them in there, because, you know, it may happen.
Okay, let's talk about Jim and Linda, constantly at each other's throats.
Yeah, no sex play there.
What's going on with these two?
Well, what we have to look at is Jim's personality, and it's a potentially toxic sort of emotional cocktail. He's high on three traits. Authoritarian. It's his way or it's no way. Also, high attention seeker. He needs to be the center of attention. He loves it when people are laughing at his jokes. And then insecurity. So the minute people don't give him attention, he does things like going to bed at 9 p.m. last night. So those three traits together can be incredibly, you know, explosive to watch. But for other housemates, and like Linda with the past history, she gets very, very annoyed with it. And she can see what he's doing, and she knows he's got those sorts of traits, even if she wouldn't label them the way I do. She knows enough about him to see that he's getting the action because of those traits that he has.
So what do you make of the way that Linda deals with it? We kind of touched on the issue earlier with Colleen that anything he says, really, she will kind of try and bite at.
It's an emotional scattergun. The moment she has an opportunity, she does. She just kind of scatters a bit of, you know, here, I'm going to give you a bit of problem, Jim. I'm going to remind you that, you know, you're not Mr. Perfect. And yeah, I think that, you know, we're seeing a lot of that. But what's interesting is we then also see her being quite friendly to him. So even though he was so below the belt last week, you know, Linda has this kind of forgiving side to her, which means that although we might still see future conflict between them and there's all this past history, she's got enough that kind of maternal instinct to kind of also let him get away with some stuff.
And Jim as well, I don't mean the maternal instinct part, but he's very quick to apologise after an argument. So we've seen.
Oh, he's desperate to be liked.
But then he kind of puts his foot in it again. So where do you think he stands within the group?
Well, within the group, he's kind of self-destructive. It's almost another characteristic. In fact, I never thought I'd say this phrase, but Jim Davison, you know, the sexist old-school comedian, is actually one of the most fascinating characters we've ever had in that house. It really is true. And because he's got this sort of self-destructive quality, he does put his foot in it, he tests people, and he sees how much rejection he gets. Inside, he desperately wants to be liked, but he always puts himself out there, and we'll see more of this, and the group all are responding to it negatively because they're putting him up.
And I suppose, well, this is what Big Brother's about, isn't it? Different people with different backgrounds, seeing how they interact together and seeing how they react to different situations. So I suppose having somebody like him in there is, as you say, fascinating.
And we're going to see more conflict, definitely. It's on the cards. More conflict between Jim and Louisa, Jim and Linda, maybe even some with Liz, because I don't think she's happy at all about the way she's been treated over the noms.
Well, I know. We kind of heard her have a
It's still
little
gonna go on.
snip-snap tonight, didn't we? Dr. Pam, thank you very much. Dr. Pam, everyone. So Tom, we're going to be talking to Ollie's friend Ashley and Sam's sister Billy about the dream that is a Towie and Made in Chelsea relationship. But first, Lee has been very busy recently, what with Casey and Jasmine, and then Casey, and then Jasmine. He's hardly had any time for anything else. Unfortunately, this has left Blue one bandmate short, but Laura Jackson is on hand to help out.
The Beatles, The Stones, Queen, Kiss, One Direction and Blue. Musical legends that permeate every layer of our society. But with Lee tucked away in the Big Brother house, Eurovision contestants Blue are missing a member. So I'm here to find that member. So let's find out what kind of flavour they're after.
Hi, I'm looking for Blue.
Yeah, it's me. I'm in Blue.
Oh no, I'm looking for like the band Blue.
Look, when I got a call and they said, are you available? I was and still am completely available, but unfortunately, Duncan and Simon have other work on, so I thought I'd come down and help you with the auditions and just get this thing on lockdown.
Can we take a look?
Yeah, I'm so excited.
My name is Matt Johnson and I'm from Caerphilly, South Wales, and I'm going to audition for Lee's part in Blue. I'm really nervous. So, here goes. He's interesting. Dr. Carl Kennedy.
Come on, everybody, let's get happy. Sorry, we'll go again.
Maybe he can help us out, be in the band when we were like really ill.
It's got good hair.
No, that's your opinion. Oh yes, my brother from Five.
Yeah.
La 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 la. Hold on.
It's got the range.
Does Blue have range?
Yeah, got a big range, like from low to high. Throw me in the audience. Oh no, bring me back. There you go.
I like Bruce.
Oh, so good. Oh, I'm loving that. It's all about that. Big. Right, let's have it. Kirk.
Many men, many men, many men, 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 many men, 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 men.
That was brilliant. Next one.
Someone get him a tissue.
So pleased people are taking us seriously. Okay, he's good.
So who's your new Lee, Anthony?
Do you know what, Laura? I'm going to give the guys a ring. I'm really excited. Bear with me.
Okay.
Done. Done, it's me, Anthony. Can you call me back, please? I've got no credit. Thanks.
Big Brother's bit on the side, where we have also had the murder mystery of the non-toilet flusher of bots. was Rylan. So Rylan, if you're watching, next time you're using my dressing room, blush, okay? He left a right old stink in there. Now, we all love a tale of star-crossed lovers, from Romeo and Juliet, Jack and Rose, to Lady and the Tramp. So here to discuss the opening chapters of the not-so-epic love story of Sam and Ollie, as Sam's sister Billy from Towie and Ollie's friend Ashley from Made in Chelsea. Okay, so before we get stuck in and have a chat about the nitty-gritty, let's take a look at their relationship in the house.
Do you love Sam?
Love Sam.
I want you and Sam to get together.
She won't have me.
Have you asked her?
No.
How do you know?
But I think she's amazing.
If you had to fancy someone, who would it be?
Probably you.
Good, because I fancy you too. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because I don't think I believe you.
I knew it was a task. I look like a complete knob.
And you are? That's awful. I can't say that's cringe.
What?
Far more beautiful without makeup. Just like
Ah, thank you.
by every way. I promise.
Oh, that's sweet. It's nice to know.
You're certainly my little rock. I'll need you at some point, I think.
I'll be here for you. I've always got about 5 or 6 people staying on a Saturday night.
I'll come round. Okay.
You can come round and cook me and my hungover friends a roast.
Yeah. Well, I'll be hungover as well. I'm not coming over and being a slave.
She's beautiful, amazing, and I'm always drawn to Sam.
Really wanted to happen. So Ashley, Ollie is very used to reality TV. So do you believe that he genuinely likes her, or do you think he just knows that this will create a storyline?
No, I don't think he's playing a game at all. Yeah, I think he does genuinely like her. He quite likes girls who are just really down to earth, fun, she just seems like a really nice, normal girl. I wouldn't say otherwise. No, I'm really joking.
Yeah.
No, she does just seem like
yeah.
a really sweet, lovely girl, and he does like girls who are quite natural. And as he I don't think he's playing a game by saying you look pretty with that makeup. He's not going to compliment girls ever if he doesn't mean it. And you can tell in his eyes, it just looks like he's got little love heart pupils. He's not playing a game.
He does look at her wonderfully. But then in Tonight Show, I was a bit like, he's just made himself cry during that task. So is he a really good actor?
Well, he did go to acting school, so I think he is a good actor. However, I know him so well that you can tell if someone's putting on a game, and I wouldn't come and sit here and say I didn't think he was playing a game if he clearly was, but genuinely he's just being a nice, normal person, which is why I think he's kind of been overshadowed a bit by some of the louder housemates, because he's not trying...
He does come across as very, very lovely.
He's not trying at all.
Now, we know Sam loves Ollie's company, but she has said that she doesn't know if she fancies him. So do you think Sam may be using him for airtime?
No, definitely not. I think that her and Ollie had like a friendship before. They was friends. We used to see him at events and stuff. So I don't think she definitely hasn't got a game plan in that sense, like she would use him for airtime. No way. I think that she just likes him as a friend. But you never know, Samantha, like all her boyfriends have been totally different. She doesn't have a type, so I don't know.
Well, he's very different from Joey, isn't he?
Yeah, very.
Don't you think as well, if they were playing a game, it would be happening? Whereas the fact it isn't happening, and I don't think it's a game.
No.
She's up for eviction this week. So do you think Ollie might kind of try and put a move on her?
Oh God, I hope so. That'll be entertaining.
Oh, Billy wanted to.
Yeah, I don't think he will, just because if he hasn't been playing games up until this point, I can't imagine that he's going to be thinking to ramp it up.
Maybe not even a game way though. Do you think he might just slip a little move in there
Yeah,
before
he
she
might
potentially
think,
leaves
he
the
might
house?
think, oh no, I want to kiss her before she goes or something like that.
I don't know, because I don't think he will. I think you'll see maybe the more supportive side of Ollie. I'm sure he'll be there for her, but I don't think he's going to try anything on.
Do you think Sam might go there before she leaves?
No, I'd be very surprised if she did. I don't think she would, no.
There's a lot of very big characters in that house,
Yeah.
and you know, lots of people, we've been talking about it tonight, saying that we're not seeing very much of her, that she's not doing very much, and indeed some people have said that about Ollie as well. You know, he's not really doing a lot. She is quite argumentative on Towie.
Yes.
Why do you think we're not seeing that side of her in there?
I just think it's really frustrating because obviously a lot of people are saying that she's quite boring and this and that, but she has been overshadowed, I think, by some of the bigger, more outrageous sort of personalities in there, and she has kept her dignity. And I think what a lot of people forget is Samantha's got such a young fan base. She wouldn't get involved in that kind of stuff, but you know, she has got so much more to give, and I really want to see like her fun, like sort of, you know, party inside to her, which we haven't had a chance to really see as of yet. But
and again, like Ollie, she's coming across really lovely,
Yeah.
like a genuinely nice person, I think.
We were chatting before and I was saying if they were getting involved in the drama, people probably wouldn't see the real side of them as much, because Ollie's not a confrontational person. And they're just not trying to find drama, and I think as a result of that, people really like them, but at the same time, people are getting frustrated because they're not seeing that side. But I think if we get some of the not bigger characters out, because Ollie's got a huge personality.
It allows you to see more of other people,
and I think we
doesn't
haven't
it?
seen Ollie's really funny, witty side. Like, he's a really funny guy.
We saw him slapping that bread.
Yeah.
that was funny.
I think they've got more to give.
Yeah,
Can you see Ollie down Sugar Hut?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think he will be. Yeah, when he comes out, definitely.
Do you think there could ever be any potential romance for them outside of the house?
I think that Ollie really likes her. I think that Sam kind of not likes attention, because I don't think she's leading him on, but I think sometimes you can tell she just kind of sees him as like,
she needs a bit of
not a
company.
brother, but like a really good mate. I don't think she fancies him in a sexual way.
Yeah,
but
I think they're more friends.
Yeah.
But I
think
would love
Ollie
to
would
see
like
them together.
it. Yeah, I'd love it. They should have their own like maiden Essex
Boreham Wood.
show.
Made in Boreham Wood.
Yeah, sorry.
It's where they were made.
It's true.
Very weird thought. Girls, thank you so much.
Thank
for coming
you.
on. Ashley and Billy, everybody. Right, let's see what's going on in the house.
Prepare for an epic journey. This week's shopping task is an eventful trek to the North Pole. Housemates will become pole explorers and husky dogs on a perilous trip to the Arctic.
Swag, swag, swag. Even in the husky outfit. Come on, girls.
I don't think they're fully focused.
We are. Don't say that, Liz. Ooh. Mush. Mush, mush, woo-hoo. Would you mind mushing a bit
What is all on?
more?
Ow.
Over this bit. Over this bit.
Oh.
Oh, yay. Right. Oh, be careful. Liz is going to get hemorrhoids.
This will be a bit of a boring task for them to watch, won't it?
Okay, so we're around... I don't know what's going on. They've just had to rewind the auto cue because I literally fell over. We're about halfway through the series again because we had a 5-day extension, which is lovely. And even Judy James can't call who is going to win this series. It's very bizarre. So we're asking who shouldn't win the series. We're just going to do a little switcheroo. So Adele, you were in Hell's Kitchen with Jim, as you've said. He didn't win that. Is he making the same mistakes again now, do you think?
Well, I don't want him to win this, certainly not. Yeah, kind of. I think he's not doing himself any favours, really. Yeah.
No?
I'm
Yeah,
just saying
no. Matt, do you think he's done anything to make him a worthy winner?
Who, Jim?
Yeah.
Not much. When I came in today, I thought, Jim, I have no strong feelings either way about him. I then spent 30 minutes in a green room with these two, and I now hate the guy.
No, he doesn't.
No, I
Hate's a
don't
very
really.
strong word.
Hate is a strong
he
word.
He is. No matter whether, you think like Colleen and you think he's playing a game, or you think like, the Jim fans that we have here, he is fantastic in that house.
He's great entertainment value. He is.
He is compelling viewing, whether you think he's being him or whether he's not being him. Yes, there was the kind of low blow to Linda, but aside from that, I think he's been fascinating to watch.
Yeah, you wouldn't want the house without him, I don't think, but I don't think that he is a worthy winner. I don't think we want him to be crowned the champion.
Okay, let's move on to his nemesis, Linda. So, Colleen, in your series, you were runner-up. Why shouldn't Linda go one better?
Because I'd have to smash her face in.
Would you be really peed off with her
Seriously,
if she
no,
beat
I
you?
would be absolutely thrilled on the night, and then I'd go home and go. I'd be really jealous. But I'd love her
your
to win.
honesty. I love it.
I'd have to live with that going, who came second?
Okay, so why shouldn't Linda win? It's weird doing it the wrong way round, isn't it?
All the time. She hasn't said anything nice about anybody, really, I don't think, throughout the whole time that she's been in there. And she keeps going on at Jim all the time, even though when he's grovelled and said, and even she said, he grovelled to me. But she still hasn't actually forgiven him and said, OK, let's finish this. I'll be OK now. Just don't come near me, but I'm all right.
She had an argument with the tea towel saga. Who doesn't get a tea towel wet? Who doesn't? Come on, we all do it.
Well, especially when you're drying up, it's quite difficult not to get
I think
it
it's
wet.
tough for both of them. I think they've both winding each other up, and I think Jim is getting a bit of a heart. She's very sensitive to Jim, and everything he says, even if he's not really saying anything, she's very sensitive to him. But
There's obviously there's history, as we know, and that does make it difficult. So it's kind of. Let's just move on, shall we? Let's talk about Sam. So most of the house love her. Is she style over substance?
I think from what we've seen, yeah, but we don't know what's going on kind of behind closed doors. And I think I love Ollie and I love Sam and I'd love them to get together, although I think he'd probably be more interested in her wardrobe than her. But
I'd be quite interested in her wardrobe as well.
Exactly.
I think so.
But yeah, I think so. But she has kind of, you know, got dignity and has got respect for herself, and you can't argue with the fact that she's come across really well in the respect of she's not been frolicking in the jacuzzi and looking at Dappy's ding-a-ling, you know.
Come on, we've all been
We
looking
don't
at
know
that.
that. Yeah,
Stop lying.
everyone's had a peek.
Well,
and you know, again, it's an hour-long show, and we see the big storylines.
Exactly.
There may be stuff going on that Sam's doing, that Ollie's doing, that
because
that
everyone's
Liz is
coming
doing,
out and saying how
that
nice
we just
she is.
don't get time to see because we're watching all the other stuff that's blowing our minds. Would you want her on your radio show, Matt?
Probably yes, only because I can't be too picky, can I? We always need guests. No, I
Well,
think
you
I
had
would.
me on.
Well, you were a blessing, Emma Willis. You were a blessing.
you're such a creep.
But it's true, she's a good guess. What are you trying to say about Emma Willis?
We're not going to turn her and say she's rubbish when she's standing in front of you.
Well, that's true, that's true. But she
Come
was,
on, be honest.
thankfully, she wasn't. Anyway, yeah, with Sam, I think on her own, she's probably all right for like 15 minutes in a radio interview. There's probably stuff for her to say. She's just dominated by so many big characters in there, and she cannot compete. And I think rather than fight it and go, right, I'm going to get some screen time, she kind of just sits back and lets the world go by. And that's okay as a strategy to get you through, but I don't think it's a winner's strategy.
The nice thing is, though, as well, she's enjoying it, which is what you did. You
Yeah,
just
I
loved
did.
being there, didn't you?
Every day I used to sit there and go, I can't, when they were moaning about this and that, I used to think, we're in the Big Brother house. It was just, it never ceased to amaze me. I loved every
I would
minute of
imagine you'd have loved Ollie being in there with you because he's very nice to look at, isn't he?
He's got to be one of the most beautiful faces I've ever seen in my life.
Is that enough to win it, though?
For me.
Okay, who shouldn't win?
Louisa.
I don't know why I just asked that question. Who do you want to win?
Jim's gonna win it.
Jim's going to win it. Louisa. Again, they're just shouting names. We can't hear them. Still to come, I'm going to be catching up with Ian in BBI, and there is something fishy going on in the house. Welcome back to Celebrity Big Brothers, but on the side. I'm having a little bit of a down day. I don't have any friends. Production hate me. My husband's probably left me. My ass looks like Viennetta. Does anyone have any Valium I can inhale? All right, here's the news. At 12:54 this afternoon, Jim really got into the task and attempted a local accent.
They're trying to drive us mad. Turn you to husky, me to fucking yeti. Big foot, big cock. Sit here sweating off the bollock. All I know is that when we go back to the snow, it will be more fucking freezing.
Dog.
I think bring wind machine. Put Linda at end and do big blow off. Then see if you're in the mood for fucking dancing. I don't think so. Not covered in shit, wind blowing, polo bears, bite bollock off. Then you can shove your fucking mush
Up us.
I don't think that Jim is in the mood for dancing, but I am. Where's the music? Come on! At 1:18 this afternoon, the Arctic Task took an icy turn for the Huskies.
Housemates, your first obstacle on your journey is the deadly brain freeze. To pass, Linda must answer Big Brother's questions correctly, and the Huskies must drink the correct answer in ice-cold shots. If they do, housemates will win at least an extra 30 seconds in tomorrow's final end game to win their shopping. A polar bear has how many legs?
There's 2 front paws, 2 back. There's 4, I would say.
Housemates should drink.
Keep it in your mouth for a little bit to warm it.
Oh, my teeth.
You've got sensitive teeth. Well, it's just sensitive.
You don't mind. I'll have one.
Something really sensitive that I'm not sensitive.
Shit, it hurts.
You're not going to do this, are you? We'll shout brain freeze, I'm out.
Brain freeze, I'm out.
Do you know what? I've just had 5 of those during that VT. Lee bowed out after 1. He is a lightweight. And finally, at 5:17 this evening, the housemates once again braved the elements to catch their dinner.
Oh my fucking god!
Sardines!
Do it for the bottom,
do it for the bottom. Pick it up. Pick it up. It's only sardine, mate. Only sardine. Well done, mate. It's only sardine.
I'm so sorry, Daddy.
Well done, mate. You're doing amazingly.
Bite their heads off.
Mate, you're being amazing.
Oh god, I'm
Come on, guys. We're fucking right.
Well done, matey. You're literally you're doing it for everyone. You're doing it so well, mate. Honestly.
We're beating them.
I can't do that.
Mate, you're doing so well.
We've got a snag. We've got a snag.
I can't do that.
I'm so sorry. I feel so bad.
Well done, mate. You're literally the dream.
Well done, Daddy.
Well done, Dax. You're being amazing.
Go on, Daffy. Go, Daffy.
You're a
being
natural
incredible, mate.
fisherman.
Honestly.
Go on, Daffy.
Come on, guys.
I can't do the fish. I can't do the
Go on,
fish.
Daffy.
Yeah, well done, mate. You're doing incredibly.
Where'd it go?
Yeah, literally, it's only calamari. It's nothing bad in the
Do you think
slightest.
we'll get through it? I don't do anything.
Do you know what though? I don't know why Casey can't do that. She's had much worse things in her mouth. I'm talking about Lee's tongue. So get your mind out the gutter, you dirty lot. That's today's news. Really, they're just disgraceful, this audience. Right, Matt, are you in the reality?
Sitting here. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, really well, thank you. It's fun over here. I like it.
Well, welcome to the show. What's going on?
Lots is going on over here. So earlier, Ollie asked Sam one of life's biggest questions, and it was this: would you rather lick the floor now or admit that Chelsea is a better show? Now, Sam didn't immediately lick the floor, so we can assume from that the answer is that she's defected over to Chelsea.
Wowzers.
Nana Pat's going to be fuming. Big Brother announced that the Huskies that we've just seen there are going to have to sleep not in the house, in the big house, but in a dog kennel. Now, you would think that they'd be a little bit annoyed about that. The person who seems most aggrieved by it is Jim, who's not even one of the Huskies. I think the thought of having to spend time alone in isolation with Linda is what's getting to him.
Can you see the kennel from where you are?
Do you know what? I can't see the kennel yet, but I have been told a little secret about it. Apparently, it isn't as bad as it sounds. Inside, it's a pub, and they're all going to have a lovely time.
You're lying!
No, that's true.
Okay, thanks, Matt.
No worries, see you in a bit.
Bye. I love Matt. We've got 40 seconds,
All right.
Ian.
Well, you can see them enjoying the pub on the website, channel5.com/BigBrother. I've got some selfies of people reacting to the nomination news.
I thought that was me then when I saw it upside down. Did.
No, this is a very excited young lady. Then we've got this one. I'm not sure what emotion that is trying to portray, but I like it anyway.
Okay,
It's
good.
And then this one's a special treat for you, Emma, because I heard you like a cockatoo.
Ian! You're being cruder than I'm being.
And that's saying something.
That is saying something. You got 8 seconds. Anything else?
There have been 2.2 million tweets about Celebrity Big Brother this series. Thank you, everyone.
Put it
Let's get it up
there.
to 3 million in the next week.
Right, we're out of time, literally. Thanks to all of my guests. I'll be back here tomorrow with Vicky Michelle,
Ooh la la.
Dame Judy James, and Louis Jazz Hands Spence. Good night.